Hey, what's up everybody, this is Wyatt aka Incubator here, bringing you yet another toy review, and today we are looking at Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Airachnid. Airachnid's vehicle mode does not add up to much. The helicopter mode has no sort of landing gear and or wheel assembly on the bottom, which makes the stability of the helicopter mode pretty lacking at best, and really just makes it teeter and feel really uncertain with all the robot kibble on the bottom. The kibble isn't much, but you do have a breastplate, some kneecaps, and just some really unsightly detail. With no landing gear once again, except for her boobs and her knees, which is kind of awkward, really doesn't make her stand all that well. Her helicopter mode is very sleek, and I can get behind the design. The only problem is, it is dainty, and, well, problems come in later on with the other mode of the figure. The propeller's actually kind of neat, how they turn into her arms and such. With the purple, they look pretty good, and with a slight flick, they spin pretty well, and how they're angled down is actually kind of nice. This is a design of a helicopter I can't get behind for a Transformers toy. The only problem is, well, it's a bad toy, I'm not going to hide that fact. One cool detail is if you stick your fingernail in this little crevice, lift it up, you have a little helicopter seat in there for a Maple Leaf pilot to sit. Also, as an added detail, on the front of the helicopter mode, you have a painted and detailed Decepticon logo. Most of the details of the helicopter are very nice and almost show accurate, but a lot of the qualms come into play in the robot mode. With some quick flips and turns, you do have a pretty self-explanatory robot mode come into play. Some quick lifts with certain panels and a certain pull in the right direction, her robot mode seems to come together, but once it's completed, it all kind of falls apart. When you take her arms and split them, her shoulders are lowered horrendously, which you'll see later. With quick double hinge and swing out of the arms are pretty, well, not much to look at. With a quick, quiet split of the legs and a split of the back piece back here, and some jointing on a ball joint, position however you want them. Put the hinges forward, and for the last gimmick of the figure, to reveal her robot mode, to live up to her reveal her gimmick, to put your thumb on her breastplate and put your middle finger back of the propeller blade, you have to push up, revealing her head. And thus you have Airachnid in robot mode. From a quick stance all the way up, can't really tell that she's all that bad, but it's not till you get to the nitty gritty and then the detail of the sculpt that you really understand how kind of mismatched and really lanky this figure is. Not filling up to her character, her shoulders aren't really filling out the way they should. Her arm is a gigantic panel that is kind of obtuse, and it does not look good. It's completely flat. It is, the whole arm assembly that's not a piece of a helicopter is this hinge inside of here, and it doesn't do much at all. There's no width, and there's absolutely no sort of anything that really resembles an arm. Something from the movie line I would expect, not from the Prime line, because these things have real designs, and, well, can't really pull off some space thing. It's not in the Prime aesthetic, and it's really kind of bad that this figure followed that. Also, to follow up with their bad sculpt, her backpack is ginormous, and really hinders her stability and her ability to really pose and even try to look good. Even down to her dainty legs, which don't allow her to stand. They are pretty nicely sculpted, but they're not very efficient. The hinges in them are sturdy enough and click on these tiny tabs on the inside, but they don't add up to much. And that is honestly the most I can say about the figure, if I can get her to stand. Going up though, her articulation isn't that horrible. It's not much that I would not expect from a modern day Transformer, even though this is a bad Transformer. Her head is on a ball joint, and it goes forward and back, but her little antlers get knocked by the back of her cockpit. Also, the back of her head, if you see in there, is a chair. The chair you saw in the cockpit is now attached to the back of her head for reasons that really aren't even really able to be explained. I don't understand why. And maybe it goes into the revealer gimmick, but, well, it's pretty horrible. Ball jointed shoulders don't have much because they get hindered by the following leg in the back, but that's not really the problem. The problem is they're so loose and tiny, there's no way to switch them out for a better arm. And the hinges on the elbows kind of suck because they get tabbed by this sharp piece and this port. The hands also kind of have some problems. They can move fine, and they have gigantic holes in them with no inside, but this one on mine has a loose pin to where it's absolutely gone now and actually kind of broken. It came like that out of the box. Not too horrible jointing in our legs. It's hindered by itself with the sharp angle point of the hip and the ball joint sunken inside of the leg or the body. So the legs are a ball joint, but they can't do much. And with no hinge, these legs are kind of stuck in this position. With a decent knee, well, it doesn't matter because the rest of the leg cannot do anything. And while the foot can pivot, well, once again, it's... While the sculpt of the figure is not too horrible, the all-around jointing and engineering does not add up, and this figure, honestly, I cannot say is worth the $13.99 or so price tag for it. I can't fully recommend this figure, but if you are a completist, well, then more power to you, and I hope you can stomach this figure more than, well, some more reputable people. I honestly don't hate it that much. It's just very out of place, very poorly engineered, and I don't hate that I own it because I can experience it, but I can't say the same for all. If you hate this figure, by all means, fine. It's just not that good. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments about the figure, please leave them in a comment down below. Please like or dislike depending on if you did or not, and please subscribe to my channel for more reviews just like this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.